BlakGooseTV family, salute, salute, salute. Y'all already know, man. It only makes sense that we hear from Luis Ortiz, right? Obviously, yesterday it was announced that Andy Ruiz versus Tyrone Spong is going to be happening. And unfortunately, for a lot of boxing heads, or at least, you know what I'm saying, people who were speculating, hoping, praying that we could possibly get a Ruiz versus Ortiz fight, even a Ruiz versus Chisora fight, because that's what was speculated. That was put out there in the media. You even heard Eddie Hearn saying, hey, look, I sent an offer to PBC because I think I can get Chisora and Ruiz made in a done deal. But he put out there publicly. But to be honest with you, as of now, it looks like they're not really leaning toward us. It seems as if PBC is leaning toward a Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz bout. Luis Ortiz, after his win over Charles Martin, as you guys can see in this particular picture, which was an amazing fight. I enjoyed it. Salute to Charles Martin for his bravery, salute for his toughness. But Luis Ortiz, just once again, too precise, too strong, too just skillful. Was able to get him out of there, but he was, very, very quick to call out Andy Ruiz. He was very, very quick to say that's the fight to be made. Obviously, I think Ortiz suffered from a broken hand or something in that fight, so he had to get healed up. But he was ready to go. That wasn't a problem. Ortiz wanted this fight. He was ready to go. He wanted the Andy Ruiz fight this year. The thing is, I don't know if he would have been ready for the date that was, announced for the Tyrone Spong fight. So in the back of my head, I think there's still a possibility for Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz to happen later in the year. But at the same time, that's all speculation. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty of the article. Maybe they can give us some information that I don't know about so I can have a little bit more insight on this particular topic. But, just based off what we're seeing, I'm not surprised. I expected Ortiz to be very upset. And it's very interesting to me as well, because once again, Ruiz and Spong is going to be happening on Triller. He's not going to be associated with PBC when it comes to this particular fight. So my goal is to read the article on that. I don't want to be too over the top with it, but I just want to try and get a idea of how it ended up on Triller. Maybe they'll tell me in this article, but it makes sense for Luis Ortiz basically to say, Andy Ruiz, you're a coward for not fighting me, right? Do you guys agree with that, BlakGooseTV family? Once again, like always, this channel is built off of what you guys think, your opinion. So do you agree with Luis Ortiz calling Andy Ruiz a coward? Do you think he's a coward for avoiding Luis Ortiz? Do you think Andy Ruiz really avoided Luis Ortiz or Derek Chisora? Or do you think when it came to his management, his team, he just felt like, there was more money when it came to the Triller offer. There was more money in fighting Tyrone Spong. And obviously there was a smaller risk to a bigger reward. Let me know what you guys think about this particularly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into this article because I want to see if it says anything that I don't know, because that's always a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? Enlighten the brother, you know what I'm saying? Let me be enlightened. I want to hear something I don't know about. So, Triller Fight Club revealed the news of former IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight champion Ruiz fighting Spong on July 16th on pay-per-view at the Plaza de Toros, Mexico City, Mexico. The press release stated that 80,000 fans are expected to attend the Ruiz versus Spong fight in Mexico City on that date, which is very hard to believe because it's a tune-up, or it would be if Ruiz were still facing high-caliber opposition. Ortiz believes Ruiz has lost his hunger to fight good opposition at this stage in his career, and he possibly could be right. In Ruiz's last fight, he fought 40-year-old journeyman Chris Arreola last year in May 2021. With Ruiz now facing Spong, it could be that this is the type of opposition that he plans on fighting for the remainder of his career. The highly ranked world heavyweight world title challenger Ortiz says Ruiz led him to believe that he would be his next opponent, but now he finds out that he's facing a kickboxer in Spong. Not surprisingly, the number 7 WBC King Kong Ortiz is upset about Ruiz choosing to take a weaker path by facing the 36-year-old non-contender Spong. I agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, I don't like the disrespect going toward Tyrone Spong. I actually think Tyrone Spong is going to be a lot tougher fight for Andy Ruiz than everyone's predicted. And I'm saying that just from being a Tyrone Spong fan. I followed him for a long time. I'm a big, big fan of him. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like, my roots are deeper than boxing. My roots really start from Muay Thai. So Spong was a guy, even though he was a kickboxer, he's someone that if you watched and you studied, he's just a legend in the game. You can't not know about him and study a sport like a Muay Thai, kickboxing, etc., not know who he is and respect him. But let's go ahead and see what Ortiz officially had to say. He said he's a coward down the line. He could have chosen a real boxer, a renowned rival. He knew how badly I wanted to fight him, but he decided to take an easy route, said Ortiz. With Ruiz reported net worth of 10 mil, according to Celebrity Net Worth, that's allegedly. Perhaps he doesn't need to fight quality opposition. That's an interesting take. That's a very interesting take. Ortiz went on to say, for a while, Ruiz led the fans to believe that a fight with me was possible, but we already see the exit he took. And we all did, even Eddie Hearn thought it was. Eddie Hearn sent in, he said, I sent in an offer. I want Chisora versus Ruiz. But, what I'm saying? PBC told me most likely they're going to go the Ortiz route. So that was out there in the media. That was speculated. That was put out there publicly for us to think and believe. I fear that this fight that the fans and I in particular want so much will never happen. Ortiz said, I think he has lost the hunger to really fight, to have meaningful fights. So what do you guys think about Ortiz's statements in regards to this? And, if I'm Ortiz, I am going to be upset because for the longest and always, what I always hear from you boxing fans, I always hear from you boxing people, I always hear from the boxing family is that Ortiz isn't as good as what people say it is. They just try to make it seem like he's that good because, he's one of, basic, he's what he would be the best win, for the most part on Wilder's record. And so everyone was to say Wilder's record is overblown. You're like, Ortiz is the best win on your record. Who was Ortiz fought? But this once again proves to the fact that Ortiz is one of the most ducked boxers in the heavyweight division. There's no reason why Andy Ruiz should not took this fight, right? Like, why did you not take this fight? You're both under PBC, big money to be made. You beat Luis Ortiz. Guess what everyone's saying and everyone's talking about? I want to see Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. I want to see Ruiz versus Tyson Fury. I want to see Ruiz versus AJ3 again. If you beat Tyrone Spong, that's definitely not going to be what people are going to be saying. But at the same time, he has had a long layoff since his fight with Chris Arreola. So maybe he's using this as a tune-up, and we might see him fight someone like Ortiz or Chisora later in the year, which is always a possibility and always kind of how boxing works to an extent. But with that being said, BlakGooseTV family, I laid it all out there for you. Let me know what you guys think about this particular topic. Do you guys think it's justified for Luis Ortiz to feel the way he feels? Or do you think he's kind of blowing things out of proportion? Do you think there was never really a fight there to be made? How do you feel about this whole scenario? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Let's keep this motherfucking ball rolling and keep killing the boxing game. Appreciate y'all. Stay